This video, we're going to walk through custom creation of a parts linear matrix. Let's start by opening up System Settings. We'll navigate to the List tab and then down to Pricing Matrices. We discussed previously the difference between a traditional and a linear matrix. Let's do a quick visual reference. We're going to click on Rules Edit for the traditional ratchet and wrench example. Now, this is a 6-tier matrix and very common in many shops across the country. However, what we're going to do is modify the framework. We're going to keep essentially the same percentages, but we're going to spread them out over many more levels so that we can hunt down the highest quantity sold levels there are and impact those levels only. So let's take a look here. We start at 71%. We drop down to 67, 60, 56, 50, and 46. And then above that, we're going to be at 43. So technically, we could call this a 7-tier matrix. Now, those numbers we're going to recreate in a linear format. How we're going to do that is by selecting any of the 3 default matrices. Let's open it up so you can see the difference. Here's 54 tiers as opposed to 7. What we're going to do is clone it. So left click on that particular, and then we're going to click clone. When the clone is created, it'll say retail number 1 or number 2. I've affectionately renamed it Matrix Testing Linear Construction. How do you rename it? Just a double 1, 2, and then we can rename it whatever we want. Now let's open up the example I have here before us using Rules Edit again. And what we've done is zeroed out all of the gross profit percentages all the way to the bottom of those 54 tiers. Then we go back and we put in the values from that traditional 6 or 7 tier matrix. So if you'll recall, 43% was over and above the level of 46 at 1,000. And as I scroll north here, 305 was as close as I could get to that 50% benchmark. I'm going to keep going north, and there's 155 at 56%. Great thing about this is that it's a grenade, not a sniper rifle. We just got to get close and it'll do the job. $75 at 60, and then we have 67% and 71. So essentially, we've plugged in the numbers from a 5 or 7 tier into this 54 tier. Now here comes the work. We need to spread out these percentages. This one's easy, right? We have 68%, we have 69%, and for those OCD folks out there like myself, this is nice and pretty. Wrap it up in a bow, that's perfect. Where do we struggle? Right here. There's more than 7 gaps in between 60 and 67. Again, this is a grenade, not a sniper rifle. We just got to get close. So if this is the best medicine, follow this. We're going to recreate a 60. And then over here, we're going to do a 66. And then we can come back down here. It's ping pong time. We're just going back and forth. And in this case, I'll do a 65. There's no right or wrong answer. What we're trying to accomplish here is spreading that gap out as best we can. So if I do 62, 63, 64, I'm still short on that 65. So I'm just going to make another 65 right here. Now I have 62, 63, 64, and we're going to do 64 again. So the general idea, we hope you're picking up on it now, is that you don't need to get analysis paralysis here. You don't have to pull out the tens, the hundreds, the thousands category here. We just want to spread it out because, again, we're going to run a report later that will show us the individual quantity items sold at those levels, and we'll be able to isolate our adjustments to that. So 56 is nice, 57, 58, 59, 60. It's pretty clean, not quite like the first. And then you keep scrolling down and you'll see here between 50 and 56, there's a large gap again. But we know what to do there, right? To spread it out evenly, and then we'll click Save. We want to thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.